How's it going, Bryce?
Good, Paul. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, buddy. Doing pretty good. Seems like we're having some audio issues again.
Weird.
It's just like every single time.
Every time.
We even tried to do some other stuff to make it so we didn't have audio issues and buy more parts. Nothing.
Nothing.
But, you know, we still talk. People still listen. We still got tens of listeners.
We still have stuff to say.
Maybe.
Maybe. What are we talking about? No idea.
Yeah. So, on that note, what are we talking about?
I don't know. Any listener requests?
Oh,
no?
I heard somebody asked to know how your first day of being open is.
Yeah. So
today's the first day that gyms are allowed to be open in a
while.
while.
First day we're allowed to be open, right?
Since quarantine.
June 19th.
So, June the last day,
Juneteenth.
I feel like you got a significant amount of experience on opening within COVID.
Exactly.
So if you were to open this morning like you did, and gained 2 weeks worth of experience in the course of one day.
Okay, 2 weeks. Yeah.
What would you recommend to people and tell people as far as what you've learned? I know that you have everything all marked out on the floors so people don't cross swords while they're working out.
No swords. Don't cross the streams, kids.
Everybody's got their own equipment in those stations. So everybody has their own separate stations. Hand sanitizer on the way in, temperature checks on the way in. Nobody's sharing chalk. Nobody's sharing equipment.
Gave out chalk balls.
Gave out lots of balls. Bryce has been giving out the balls full of white stuff.
Yeah.
And
paint it white.
What things have you started out doing that you're like, oh, I should probably make that change?
All right. First was buy a lot of chalk ahead of time. If you just realized today that you have to buy chalk balls, you're in trouble. They're about a month back ordered right now.
Okay.
Or you could spend like $8 a ball, which is not a good idea. So we gave probably away, I don't know, 60 of them anyway.
That's been a busy day.
Yeah, and I have more coming, so definitely have all that stuff ready. If you just started thinking about how to open in the last week and all that stuff and posting to people, you're probably going to be pretty panicked. I noticed like a lot of posts on any gyms that are opening today.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of stuff about rules, like people trying to get their software, right? Like you guys have to check in and reserve a class.
Yeah.
Like I saw some gyms last night putting up, make sure you download this app and register for classes tomorrow. Like you're not going to have a lot of people showing up.
Because that's a requirement now, is everybody has to check in for classes, right?
Yeah, so...
like not just your requirement, but that's a state requirement? You have to check in?
I don't know. It was originally, that's what they originally said you had to have. I don't know if they've changed. I haven't looked since we figured out what we were going to do, but definitely, I would definitely see what the current, as they change this thing every day pretty much.
Yeah.
We taped out the floors, and tape isn't going to be sufficient.
Okay.
We bought tape we went with gaffer's tape so that when you pull it up there's no residue, but at the same time it's not like duct tape. So duct tape's going to stay down a little better, but it's going to be an absolute disaster.
Duct. Just checking.
With a T.
Is there such thing as duct tape too?
That's a brand of duct tape.
Actually, I would have taken that brand too if they're smart.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because everyone thinks it's duck.
Yeah.
But it's not a duck.
It's not for taping ducks.
Well, it would work well.
Yeah.
He's not damn right.
You can take all the feathers off.
But take the fur off first.
Take the fur off. If your duck has fur, let it go. It's not a duck. What if it quacks like a duck? Is it a duck? No.
So you're gonna paint the lines on the floor.
Yeah, we're gonna paint them down. Probably, and we're gonna go with blue. That way, if we needed to tape it off for like an event, we would use a brighter color, so that it would show up better. But at least for daily.
And that way, if people want to park their handicap cars, they're already cute. You just got to do the little white handicap.
That'd be funny. That'd actually be really funny. Put a
not that funny.
Guy with a barbell, maybe. A little barbell.
Moderately funny at best.
We'll make a little plaque.
Okay.
That's one. That's a big one.
That's a big one. That's significant.
The tape isn't going to stay, and after, I don't know. My guess is after 2 weeks, it's going to look shitty, like you've been mopping it every day. you know.
So the boxes themselves,
Yeah.
are you going to try to make them as big as you possibly can for every box, or are you going to try to keep more open space between them? Or
I'm going to make it a tiny bit smaller just so the amount of, not the amount of paint, but the amount that it's going to wear off is going to be less, right? So
Okay.
it's going to be easier to maintain the line.
and then
Whereas if you made it bigger, it's just going to get stepped on more. You're just going to have more wear and tear.
how do you think the coach is going to be able to interact with the glass? Because everyone's in their boxes, and I assume as a coach you shouldn't be going in people's boxes.
Right. So ideally, you're just
I mean,
walking.
like, let's just back up a little bit.
Yeah.
As a coach, stay out of people's boxes.
Yeah, stay out of people's boxes if you're a coach. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, better. Keep people's boxes private.
Okay, so you're staying out of people's
Yeah.
boxes. Are you trying to keep like little aisles so that as a coach? You
Yeah,
can
well,
walk
we have an
in?
aisle going right up the middle, so you could go left, right. I just kind of walk up and down the line and yell at people as I go.
So there's a single line, let's call it a 6-inch line between the boxes.
Yeah, that's where we're probably going to go. We have a foot and change right now, so that it's the demilitarized zone. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then the coach can balance along the 6-inch
Yeah, I mean, you can
line.
do that too. Yeah. You just don't want to get in there and touch people. So that's the other thing.
So stay out of boxes and don't touch people.
Yeah, so everybody's coming back. A lot of people aren't going to come back because they don't feel comfortable. They don't know what's going on. They're like, oh, I'll let Paul be the guinea pig and, you know, catch COVID when they screw up or something like that.
Yeah.
So your first week or so is going to be you trying to learn how this stuff goes anyway. And a lot of people aren't going to come back. You're going to probably have a 50% right away. That's what we saw, 50% first day back. And then they're slowly coming in, right? They're slowly adding in.
But lots of people are getting fat from quarantine
Yeah.
and looking to get fit.
Absolutely.
So now that
Yeah.
gyms are open, there should be a pretty good influx of people
Yeah.
as well, I would think.
Yeah. We've had a lot of inquiries, to
Yeah.
say the least.
That's right. And you haven't been able to tell people that you're open because
Right.
you're officially open
Today.
now.
Yeah, today's the first day.
But as of today.
So as of
you're
today, I
like,
have
yeah,
some new
well,
members anyway.
There you go.
Yeah, but that's a big one. Thinking everybody's going to come rushing back. You don't want it because you don't know how this is going to work anyway. I saw some gyms have like your rig is over here, your workout spot's over here. I'm not sure how that's going to work. People walking around.
Yeah.
Getting
that's
people,
true.
people not like your members. Coaches are easy; they're gonna stay in the middle, right? But members just walking through people's areas, because a lot of people don't actually give a shit,
Yeah.
right? They're like, whatever, I'm gonna walk through this, you know. So ideally, people stay in their box and stay out of other people's boxes, right? And stay in the demilitarized zones, as you will, right? Stuff like a running wad. I've had some people just run through, you know,
Yeah.
and you gotta be like, hey, just,
And that's where you kind of have to have the aisle.
yeah, you gotta have an aisle. So you gotta be like, please, you know, don't run straight through this person's, which if it's a workout anyway where you're switching from a bar to the pull-up bar, and you should be running between people's stuff anyway, just as courtesy. But now that you have boxes, you should definitely not be running through people's boxes. Should kind of go without saying.
That makes sense.
One thing, people clean a lot better. Everybody's
People
a
actually take
lot
care of
more
their own stuff.
conscious. Yeah, and I think people like the boxes so that they have their own little area. They got their stuff. They got their weights. You don't have to worry about people coming over, grabbing your fives, grabbing, you know.
So
'cause
do you think
everybody's
this
got
will
their-
become a permanent change?
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
Yeah.
realistically,
part.
even once you don't have to, once you've been doing it for a while, you'll be used to it being like
Definitely the equipment thing. All your equipment being in that's absolutely.
And the only problem there is it limits you to 8 stations inside.
Yeah, but then once if this is ever over, we can just put 2 people in each station or whatever that is.
I guess so. So you share a station.
Yeah, and that would only be for certain workouts. We could still put non-rig workouts. You could have more than 8 stations. So
How does it work for like Oli stuff? Like when we do the Bergner warm up, it's nice to do the Bergner warm up in like a cluster, if you will, with the coach in the front and everyone's kind of doing it together. So There's not really a great spot for the coach to stand where all the different boxes can
Just
see.
stand in the middle.
Stand
And everybody's facing the middle.
DMZ.
That's fine. Yeah. Actually, I find it people are paying attention more so and stuff
I
like
guess
that.
because they're not talking to each other because there's 6 feet between them.
Yeah. You
So
don't
less
have
BS in the back.
you don't have two people whisper.
Although Christy hasn't come back yet.
Yeah, she'll fix that.
Not to pick on people in particular, but come on.
And that's another thing. People with kids aren't coming back.
Yeah.
They're not. They can't.
Yeah. With my kids.
Yeah.
Well, you're right.
Your kids are running rampant, so yeah. Different story.
Actually,
But-
the reality is, I was able to come back with my kids because nobody
Yeah.
else is back with kids.
Exactly.
So
you get to hang
that's
out
what
upstairs.
allows that.
Right. And we don't have any daycare right now because there's no.
Yeah. So if there's anybody else with kids, then I couldn't have my kids up there
Right.
because I wouldn't want to leave a bunch of kids up there. That wouldn't be safe.
Yeah. And you can't just jam a bunch of kids in a room. They're not going to stay. I mean, some gyms I'm sure are opening their daycare, but they shouldn't.
No, you're putting all this effort to keep the adults 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
You can't just put the kids in one room.
Yeah, because they don't understand what they don't understand 6 feet apart. But yeah, the other thing, certain movements you're gonna have a lot of trouble doing, like rope climbs. We actually did rope climbs. So,
Okay.
But we have
There's a rope in each station almost.
there is 8 ropes, 8 stations of ropes,
Okay.
and between every class we sprayed the rope from top to bottom.
That gets slippery.
Yeah, luckily here it's warm enough.
Yeah.
They seem to be drying fast enough, and because we're using liquid ozone, you're not spraying Lysol or some shit. If you're a gym that's using detergents and chemicals,
Yeah.
you could cut your ropes off the ceiling. Nobody wants to do them.
Yeah.
I don't want to do them if I'm coming down a wet rope of Clorox
No.
or Lysol, whatever.
Especially once you get a little bit of a burn on your leg.
No way. Not good. And that shit doesn't work anyway in killing pretty much anything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just not, probably not conducive to this environment anymore.
So, and then I guess the only other things that you can't really do much of without significant planning would be things like some of the strongman stuff. Like if you get the
Yeah.
yokes out,
Right.
you'd have to sanitize between people,
Yeah.
which you can do,
You could definitely do that.
but that's still.
Especially, I mean, we're just spraying
Yeah.
that ozone on there. It kills everything in 5 seconds. So
Yeah.
you could actually just sit there and obviously be
You just have to have
grabbing.
a coach there with a ozone.
You'd be grabbing a wet yoke, but whatever. Yeah, stuff like the sandbags.
Yeah. that's
Again,
right.
that'd be the same as like the rope. We just have to spray them every round, and those would probably be wet and stay wet all day. Unfortunately,
So
the
it's be a
ropes
little
dry out because they're basically plastic, right? They're nylon.
Yeah, they're nylon.
They
and
dry
everything.
pretty quick, and if I climb up to the top and spray my way down
Yeah.
with a rag, they're pretty dry right away.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, we did some testing with that, and that worked. So.
Nice. Any other things that you would really recommend changing, or that you have changed, or do you think you should change?
Let's see. Not really. We've been doing pretty good. So, I mean, it's only been a day,
Yeah.
half a day. No.
It's just the morning class so far.
Yeah. Certain things like dips where you've got a limited number of matadors. You can't have where people used to, 3-4 people would share, kind of rotate in and out. That's a problem. So we're going to buy more of those.
So that's just gonna be programming issues essentially.
Yeah, programming. And I thought of that when I programmed it, but it was fine. Because we have other options of a dip, right?
And not super busy classes at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So.
And ideally, hopefully they get super busy. We
Yeah, of course.
should hopefully have full classes in a couple of months, I would think. I think it's going to take a couple of months.
You think it'll be that long?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, kids aren't going back to school.
That's true.
Until they go back to school, the moms can't come.
That's true.
So.
And you've expanded your class times a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You have the 9:30 class now.
Yep.
It just seems like it's.
Yeah, that was actually a good amount of people in it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and is that the only extra class?
Yeah, and that actually, I just moved it from 10:30. That was the master's class,
I see.
just for them. So now it's kind of split between them and regular younger folk.
And then we talked about what you might do with Oli and specialty.
Yeah.
But now you're open. Is that gonna work, having Oli at the same time and like having like,
Again, they'll be limited to the number of people they could handle.
So are you still having 8-person classes on that 5:30 time slot? That's the only time you have Oli right now, right?
That's the only time we don't have a full class, the nine people. So we have Oli, we've given them like 5 people and 4 people, 5 or whatever to regular class, and then we're just kind of trying to fill those in as if we know there's only going to be a couple people on Oli that day, then we'll just kind of adjust the numbers, because I can adjust them all as I go.
Okay.
So then when people look on there and see the classes in full, they can sign in.
And then starting strength hasn't started back yet.
No.
I guess that's the only.
No, because again, Michelle, she's not coming back.
She's not coming
probably
back.
for a while. Yeah.
Not until things calm down for her.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with her. She's taking care of a 9-year-old, so she's afraid to come back. You know?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. A lot of people are afraid to come back. So.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be. So.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're not all gonna come back.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that.
And then morning classes are still the same way they always have been.
Yep.
We still have 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30.
There's no 6:30. We haven't had 6:30 in a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the rest are there. So 4:30 till 10:30 in the morning.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we're going to try to fill in something in the afternoons with adaptive athletes.
Oh, nice.
Working on that. So
Cool.
there'll be more. I'm sure we'll do a podcast on that if we actually get around to that.
That sounds like fun.
What else? I don't know. Yeah, making sure people clean up.
So
being on top of all the sanitation, actually making sure we clean the buckets, changing the ozone water every 3 hours, stuff like that. That's kind of the learning process right now, because we just got that installed, so that has to be changed.
So what about being the only CrossFit gym on the west side of
Oh,
Ottawa?
that's right. The only CrossFit gym.
The only one that survived quarantine with the name CrossFit.
That's right. That's right. I don't know. What does that mean? It means we'll be advertising CrossFit more.
Yeah, no kidding. Definitely got to pump that up.
Yeah.
Are you interested in high intensity interval training or CrossFit?
Are you a functional fitnesser?
Yeah.
Or a CrossFitter?
Depends on your spirit, I suppose.
I guess. Good luck.
Have you ever been to the functional fitness games?
No, and nobody else has either.
Oh, but I'm going to watch the CrossFit games.
But
this
it
summer.
exists.
Oh, yeah.
That's
okay.
the funny thing. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, good to know.
That'll be interesting.
CrossFit West Waterloo. Just got to emphasize that CrossFit.
That's right.
And I guess West Waterloo because it's the only CrossFit in West Waterloo.
That's right. I don't
Your
know
name
what
has
West
become
is.
even more relevant.
I guess so. That's true. Covering the west side.
And everybody else will be not CrossFit.
Or not west side. West.
Ikai or whatever.
Yeah.
AOS.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Who knows what's going to happen?
I think we'll call it good at that. And yeah, thank you for listening. And
all right. See ya.